Ready to pledge allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Public comment. Any public comments? Okay, so has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
I didn't see anything.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second.
So move to the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Commissioner comments and committee reports.
I have a project concern tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and then adult correction at 2 o'clock, so I may have to cut the project concern meeting a little short. And I'll come back next week. Tell you what I found out. That's all I have.
I had a meeting at Hiawatha last week for the area agency on aging. Nothing new to report. Well attended meeting.
Okay. New business before the board. Corey Scott.
Afternoon. I've got a PO for you for our billing software. This is nothing new. It's they changed their billing practices. Instead of billing us monthly, they're now going to give us an annual bill, which puts it over the spending limit for department heads. So it's budgeted. Same thing we've been doing, no change, just a change in their billing practice.
How's it working?
Well,
How's it working well? Good.
Yeah, it's really worked well.
Well, the chair would entertain a motion to for a purchase order for $5,160 for the annual software subscription fee for billing at the EMS department. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Well, I've got this picture in front of me. We need a compressor replaced on the jail. The chair would entertain a motion to contract Dunn Heating and Cooling for $1,653 to replace the.
Let's get in.
All those in favor signify by. Oh, sorry. I have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I second
Move the second. I assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
it. Aye.
Passes 3-0. Okay, I guess that goes with that. Okay. When Roger gets up, I have an option to purchase right away from Terry Lee Custer at located on 206 Road near Rollins Road. So this is $100 for the option cut.
It's $100 for the option, but it's $7,000 for the right of way.
So it's an option to buy the right of way at a later date for the shared bridge between Atchison
That would be,
and Loveland.
we think it's true.
So this is only on one side of it.
Okay.
We purchase it on our side, they're purchasing on theirs.
All those in favor allow the chair to sign this option to purchase.
I'll make that motion, Mr.
Do I
Chairman.
have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
Everyone's signature.
One signature. Okay, moving right along. Roger Denton, GIS coordinator, go to brief discussion.
We talked this morning and have talked recently about contracts on 4 Husker Steel bridges. Kat, I think I had emailed you information on those that showed ownerships on both sides of all of those structures that we're talking. Do we have agreements on all of those?
I didn't see your email.
Oh, here, I have an additional copy I can give you.
I was thinking we did.
First four, the first one is the Custer that you just dealt with. It's possible there'd be something from Sanders also. Has Sanders agreed, or do you know? Or
Well, that would be Leavenworth County's on, because Leavenworth, the agreement is they do the acquisition on their side.
okay, but we've got a Sanders on our side of the road also.
That'd be further west. I don't think their line would be involved.
Okay,
Well,
this
maybe
shows them from the
maybe
center of
some
the
that
creek
road-
on.
Maybe, yeah, I guess they would have one involved there.
Is it the red line on here, is the Atchison Leavenworth County line?
It is, but keep in mind the photos are not always exactly where they're supposed to be. And I think that property line is supposed to be on the creek channel.
Yeah, they might just,
Is the boundary line the black line, or is it the,
That's the current right of way. Once these are designed, they may require slightly additional for the construction.
the sinewy black line?
Yeah,
What is that?
that's property line.
So, okay, well,
Let's roll through these, the next three if we can, just to know. On CO 16.8, where we're dealing with Lassen, Fowler, and Hawkins.
Hawkins. Yes, we have those.
Okay, we have those. And then the next one, we're dealing with Reed and Judd.
We have those.
We have those. Good. And then 520, we're dealing with mostly with Gerald Falk on that one.
I think that's one that we already have the engineering on, right?
We do not have engineering on these yet. These are the Husker Steels, and they're going to be design build, and so it would require they're going to do the design. When they do the design, they will actually come up with what we need to acquire, just like the previous three. So 520 is one that we're still looking at as the Husker Steel Bridge. We've not been given actual acquisition yet. This would be another. There's an agreement to get. Well, if you do not, let's go ahead and let's look at one last bridge in this series. The last bridge in this series is the H1 13-4, which is Morton. Gary Morton is the person on that one, and I don't know if you have that.
I don't even have this one on the list. Oh wait, H1.
It was a repair bridge, which will likely not require anything. It's an abutment, but I can't imagine that you're going to. Yeah, it looks like this.
That's not one I've seen.
Okay, all right.
What happened to that list you did?
This list.
Did you pick it up?
The 5 bridges we're looking at here are the 5 that are in blue. Well, here's what I would suggest. I would suggest if you want to move forward, I have contracts on those 5 here, and I would suggest that that you could vote to proceed with those bridges once adequate agreements for right-of-way acquisition are required by Pat. Would that be an acceptable situation, Pat?
Surely.
I'd like to make that a motion.
I'd second that.
So we're gonna do it all as a package, right? These five bridges.
Well, wait, there's one that we don't have. We have one this. I don't recall ever talking about this.
I don't recall ever talking about
That was a repair.
And that's
We-
what
We shouldn't have to have no ground to repair, should we?
You shouldn't need ground repair. But if they needed it for construction easement, you would want to be able to acquire the construction easement. You just don't know until you
Looks
get
like
there.
Our road right away to give enough room for that.
you would think.
I would think so.
Kenneth Wallingford is on the north side, and we had another bridge.
He was quite willing.
But he's very, very willing. So I would.
Gary Morton.
I'm actually thinking he's deceased. I think. Is that Gary? Isn't? Oh, was that his? I was thinking that maybe it was the dad. Okay.
So you have a motion for 5 bridges. They're laid out here in blue. Is that good enough for the motion? Or I guess you can write down the bridges.
We can.
I can give you the contract, which the numbers are yellow highlighted.
Maybe I should write him for the actually making a.
But that's the repair one. We probably don't need it.
So it's been moved to proceed with contracts on these 5 bridges. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
It's moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? I assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign.
So you notified Husker Steel that it's
Passes
available.
I will do that. As soon as Pat and I have conferred and know that he is in agreement with all of the right-of-ways. We also have today bids here from
Can't do that till
1:30. Well, until that time, I spoke to you this morning about requests for qualifications for rural road safety improvements, and I will get you a copy of that also, which I didn't have here. And that is, I mean, that's the contracts for signing. So if you want to hang on, I will. You can hang on to those for the record, and as soon as we find out, we'll let you know, and everything can get signed. This is a proposal just written this morning that essentially sets up that public notice would go out by the end of this month. Give 2 weeks for engineers to reply. That within 2 weeks of that reply, we would set up a date and have a committee who would review and make recommendations. And that then based on those recommendations, we will request from the state of Kansas an estimated number of hours on this project, and then enter into negotiations with we would notify all those who were participants where they rated within our scale, and then we would go back to K.S.A, get the estimated number of hours, and then enter into a negotiation with the successful select engineer. The 2 engineering firms I have on here that I'm assuming that you want sent to, we will need to notify in the local newspaper. Also, we need to, we are able to send out to, and I'm assuming to Cook, Flat, and Strobel, who have done work for us on the other bridges, Schwab and Eaton. And do you have another engineering firm that you would like to include, or 2 or 3? It takes very little to send them out.
Is that King at Oskaloosa?
I didn't think it's not that one.
If you have a name, I will take a look. They have to be on the approved list by the state of Kansas.
Okay.
Or our selection process gets much more complicated.
Seth stated that they didn't really keep good communication with him. He didn't know what was going on, and I took it that he wasn't impressed.
Okay, so,
King is not on their approved list.
okay, so we'll go with those two unless there's somebody who wants to add in.
It's up for, it's gonna be advertised, so any of,
Sure, and if you know of someone or you hear of someone else and you say, I would like it sent to these, names that are on here are names such as Bartlett and West, B&G, Burns and McDonald, CDM, CH2M, Hill, Continental, Call Valley, Land Plan, McAfee, Olson, just mentioning names that you might have heard of previously, PEC, Tetra Tech, Trans Systems, Wilson and Company. And those are some of the primary names.
who was a McAfee for?
McAfee's Leavenworth area.
So the chair would entertain a motion to produce an RFQ for high-risk rural runs. And initially, the information we sent to Cook, Platt and Strobel, and Swab Eaton, and it'll also be published in the Atchison paper. Do I have a motion?
I saw it.
I will second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And I will wait here for the opening of the bid. Or I'll wait.
Okay. What's up? We'll have to wait till next week. In executive session. Okay, we got 12 minutes before the bid opening.
You know what, that was actually, was that in your proposal saying 1:30? It said they had to be in by 1 o'clock. I think
Jim says
Michelle put it on.
1:30 p.m. all I was going by.
Yeah, I think Michelle came up with that 1:30. I don't think that was actually part of the package. So I don't see any reason you couldn't open them.
Are all the bidders here?
The bidders had to have quit at 1 o'clock. One is not here and one is here. So
We have the bids, right? So let's proceed with the bid opening.
you want to open them or do you want me to? Or
You open.
somebody got an open.
It says the bids will be opened at 1:15.
Oh, does it?
Right on.
We're going to get this right sooner or later. That's 142.
Three proposals.
The first is culvert improvement from Martin Consulting.
I'm getting fancy here.
Martin Consulting has bid on 108, and I'm just going to run through them by ID number. 108 has a bid of $10,640. On 110 has a bid of $3,820. On 114 has a bid of $10,250. On 126 has a bid of $3,800. On 127 has a bid of $4,250. And on 128 has a bid of $16,850 for a total of $49,610.
Okay.
Second bid is that of Wagner Excavating for culvert repair. Wagner Excavating has no bid on 108. On 110, they have a bid of $12,705. On 114, they have no bid. On 126, they have a bid of $11,050. On 127, they have $7,480. And on 128, they have no bid. So, we have only two here. It would appear that Martin is going to be successful bidder. I will review these, get with them, and you have a contact number here, Jeff, and I will get a hold of you, Jared, and we'll get a contract worked up for your approval at your next meeting.
So we have to make a motion to approve the bid.
No, you just received them today. We will get you back with a contract that you can approve and sign at your next meeting.
Isn't that material labor or just labor?
We are providing tubes on the tubes. Many of the labor, many of the material things are, concrete and things like that are in there, but there are certain things that are within the specification that we are providing.
So we should discuss the West Star Bridge culvert replacement.
I will discuss that with Jared as well. Okay?
Austin.
Oh, Austin, excuse me.
Okay, I thought, oh, must be somebody else in the room. Okay. So,
Austin, excuse me.
okay. Okay, anything else on bridges, Roger?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your bids.
It's open. Do you have your second? Yep.
Do we have a timeline on those?
We do not yet, but we will be working at it. I think we had a number in there. 90 days after.
Okay. I don't see any other new business. Is there any old or unfinished business before the board? If we have any, I already jumped ahead and did the right-of-way under county councilor. We have county councilor updates.
I don't have anything for today.
Okay. Presentation approval of claims. Okay, we've got this notice of communication. Public comment. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn at 1:24 p.m.
So moved.
Move to seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes. We're adjourned.